I'm here at Farmer's Market and I was so excited when I saw mushrooms, and then to find out that they were wild harvested mushrooms made my heart sing. So, introduce yourself. Tell me about you.
All right, I'm Dan Genho. I grew up in Florida and Texas and then moved out to Utah over the years.
And what got you picking mushrooms?
It's a kind of a funny story. So I have a friend and we put together an annual crawfish boil. We go catch crawfish and we have this big boil. Both of us grew up in the South, and so we do it for like 45 people. And we were up there about 6 or 7 years ago, and I walked out of the campsite. I was walking around and I saw a mushroom on a log, and I said, well, that's an oyster mushroom. So I went and researched it, and it turns out it was. So I picked it, we ate it, and it was phenomenal. And so I was like, there's got to be way more here. And so we started researching and just kept adding more and more mushrooms we could find.
Okay, so your background is in food science. So
yes.
Where did you go to school?
So I have an undergraduate degree from Utah State and then a graduate degree from Texas A&M.
In food science?
Yeah, particularly my focus is meat science.
Oh, in meat science.
But my title's a food scientist. It's kind of weird, but it is.
So I want you to teach me about the types of mushrooms that you've got here.
Okay, so today we only have 2 varieties because it's the fall and it's later in the fall. What we have are chanterelles. So a chanterelle, this is a smaller version. They have several names in German. They're Pfifferling, which means peppery. And the reason they call them that is because of the peppery flavor they have. If you taste them, they have this mild aftertaste of pepper. When you smell them, let's see if this one has a good smell. They have like a sweet apricot-y smell.
Oh yeah, that's not peppery at all.
No, it doesn't have the peppery smell, but
that smells like a fruit.
Exactly. So it's the description is apricot. I don't smell a lot of apricots. I eat them, but but this does have that fruity smell. What's interesting about them, if you look at them close, they don't have true gills. They have ridges. If you look here, and the way you can look at that, if you scrape that, it all breaks. The mushroom breaks. It even breaks. You can see how it rips up the mushroom.
Right.
But if it was gills, the gills would just pull off.
Okay.
So this is the true chanterelle. There's a false chanterelle, which isn't good to eat.
Okay. So when you're mushroom picking, you have to know your stuff.
You have to know your stuff.
You can get into trouble, right?
You can get sick very quickly picking the wrong mushroom. Okay. There's several mushrooms that grow here. There's one called that's so kindly named the Destroying Angel.
Oh, serious?
Those kind of ones you want to avoid.
Okay. So does this one ever change colors? Because it seems like I've seen chanterelles that are a different color.
Yeah, there's a blue type like this, and it's actually totally different species. It just has a similar look. Has a little different flavor. It tends to be a little sweeter. We've picked some, but we can't sell them here because of some states. The state has us only.
So how would you use this one in cooking? What would be a good?
So my favorite thing that I've done is I take this and I saute it in a little butter, and then I cube it up. Obviously clean it first, but cube it up, and then I will make a hollandaise sauce on top of the cubed up mushrooms, and then we'll serve that over other things.
I could taste that in my mouth. Yeah, that sounds really good.
It's really, really good. She makes me make it we made it probably 5 or 6 times in a row because she was like, just make the hollandaise sauce. And then we climbed on the scale and we're like, maybe we should quit making hollandaise sauce every day. So
every other. We'll just stick to every other
day. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so this is a chanterelle.
Chanterelle.
Okay.
It has several other names, like the Pfifferling. There is an Austrian name. I cannot remember it because it's really a hard one for me to pronounce. Okay. But it actually literally means egg yolk.
Oh.
Because of the egg yolk color. The chanterelle is the French name.
Okay.
And so those are the
So
names.
even though this one smells fruity, when you cook with it, you'll get a peppery.
Peppery taste with the earthy mushroom taste.
With the earthy mushroom taste.
Okay,
fabulous. Taste. So what's the next one?
So the next one.
It's huge.
Yeah, these are porcinis.
But yeah, and then just
look at that.
So this one's growing a baby one. Yeah, you can hold it.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Like that's heavier than I thought it would be.
We
and look, it's got a little baby.
Yeah. So the porcini has a lot of names. Here we call them the king boletes or penny buns, and because they look like the old hamburger penny buns on top.
Okay.
A lot of people will come by and they'll look here and they'll say, "Oh, you have mushrooms. I thought it was bread," because they see the top of these.
Because they see the top
and they
and
think
it
I
looks
have
like
rolls, and so they it's not quite rolls.
Okay, so flavor profile on this one.
This has, my friend, the way he describes it is a portobello mushroom, but exponentially better.
Okay.
And so it has that earthy, true
So
earthy.
meaty? To me, a portobello is meaty.
That earthy, meaty mushroom, true mushroom flavor. That one that we imagine like a mushroom, but this is augmented.
Okay.
So this is the classic Italian mushroom they use for risotto. Porcini risotto is the famous Italian thing. But this has a lot of names, like I said, King Bolete, penny bun, cep in French, Steinpilz in German, and then a few other names. So everybody has their own name for it. But it is a beautiful mushroom for cooking.
Your favorite way to cook with it?
That's a hard question. One of the best things I've had with this is some quail with a poultry gravy. This was the base of the gravy, so I sauteed them and then built the gravy over that, and then put it over the quail, and it was really good. But the other Italian food with this is really good. I'm looking forward to getting my brick oven back going, and then I'll make pizzas out of this, like the brick oven type pizzas, which are really good with this kind of thing.
I cannot get over how heavy that is.
they look, so I think people get a little intimidated because they're like, you tell them by the mushroom, I want a lot of mushrooms, and I try to say, look, this is, pick it up, feel it, and then realize how big of a mushroom
Okay, now,
you're
I've
buying.
never cooked quail before, so that's like beyond what I can cook in my kitchen. So what's a simple way I could incorporate that? Oh, okay, just with chicken.
I just had quail, so I used quail,
so
but
you
if
use
you have
quail.
chicken, you can use chicken.
Okay, we got to get together so I can learn how to do
I can give you my website, but I have some recipes there for it.
Oh,
so,
on your website?
Yeah, I run a cooking blog and I put wild mushroom.
Okay, we will totally
Give us the
post
URL.
that. Give
So
us the URL.
it's cooking with Dan Genho, that's DanGenho, at blogspot.com. .blogspot.com, sorry,
Okay.
not at blogspot, .blogspot.
And we'll put a link to that so people
Yeah,
can
and I'll
go
give you
to
the
it.
card. But what I did, the reason I put those, because that's the question people ask, is how do I cook these?
Oh, but here's, okay,
So they
this is a small one.
So that's
Same
a
thing.
small, so it's the same one, and then this is a big one, even bigger. This one's
Oh, wow.
beyond
So there's
sellable
the-
for us. You see
Now,
when they
why
get
is that?
this is worms,
Ooh.
and so they are wild. I mean, it is a wild product. They're not sprayed. There's nothing done to them.
Okay.
They are as wild as they come.
So, as a home cook, how do I make sure I'm not feeding my family worms? I don't want.
Well, that's what we do.
Oh, okay.
So
That's your job.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
come through here and we look, and you can see that there's not those holes.
Okay.
It's not got that nasty, especially on this one. You'll probably see it a little better. You see, it's very solid and hard. Feel this one. You can feel the difference.
Oh, it's more
feel the
spongy?
stalk. Feel the stalk on this one.
Okay, it definitely is spongy.
It squeezes it.
Not
Now feel
as
the
heavy.
stalk on that one.
Oh, huge difference.
Yeah.
So you need to know your mushrooms.
Yeah, you got to know what
You
you're
really
looking
have
at.
to know your mushrooms.
You don't want to just go, oh, there's some growing in my. That's one of the things people tell me is, hey, there's some mushrooms growing in my yard, and I said, well, leave them there. Don't eat them because unless you really, really know, there's a good chance that you could do something. You may not kill yourself, but you may make yourself wish you had killed yourself because it would be very sick.
So you are here at Farmers Market because, you know, a lot of times people go organic, but wild harvested
doesn't get much more organic.
It just doesn't get more organic
Yeah.
than wild harvested, and these are all picked here in the mountains around Cache Valley, right?
They're all local. Yeah, they all come from these mountains. So
that excites me.
yeah.
So you are here at the Cache Valley Farmers Market.
Where did you guys pick?
When? Tell us.
So we when there's mushrooms. That's the easiest way to say it.
When there's mushrooms.
But we should have a couple more weeks of good mushrooms. The porcinis might stop, but the chanterelles will keep going. And then
Totally depends on the rain.
it depends on the rain, depends on the season. They're all seasonal mushrooms. So in the spring we'll have morels and oyster mushrooms, and then the porcinis will start, and then the chanterelles start. So they start progressively, and then they stop progressively as well. The beautiful thing about Utah is something like morels or something that's really climate dependent. In a lot of parts of the world, a lot of parts of the U.S., morels are huge. And somewhere like Kansas, where I lived for a while, and I hunted some there, they have a short season because the climate has to be perfect.
Perfect for them.
And so they have a short season. We're fortunate
Utah, we have a longer season.
because we have low valleys where it warms quicker, and then you can climb up the mountain.
Oh, and so you extend your season.
Our season's a little
by
longer.
the higher you climb.
But we don't get these big gluts that like they do.
Okay.
We don't have as much at once, but we get them over a longer period of time.
longer.
And I think it's a similar thing with these porcinis. I've always been told they're like in Oregon. I talked to a company out of Oregon, and they said, well, we get them in October. Well, I've been picking these since late June, early July. I've been finding them.
Wow.
And so the season is longer here for some reason, and I think it's because of the way the elevations.
So can I share with you my favorite thing about mushrooms when it comes to health? My favorite thing is any mushroom, specifically even more so if it's wild harvested, is an immune modulator. So what it does is our immune system overreacts or underreacts, and a mushroom goes in and instinctively bumps your immune up or bumps your immune down depending on what you need.
So it's a buffering system.
Yeah. They're incredible. They're so incredible to add into your diet. So farmer's market, you're here when there's mushrooms.
Yeah.
I know that September 12th you'll be gone, you said.
October 12th.
October 12th, sorry.
Yeah.
October 12th
But the
you'll be
market
gone.
closes soon after
Yeah,
that.
soon
so
after
that.
that.
That
So
may be the...
we've got kind of this short little window
Yeah, a
for
few more
people to
weeks,
get their hands
hopefully.
on it.
Yeah.
Ha! High five! I love mushrooms. Thank you for
Thank
teaching
you.
us. I'm excited.